Captain's Log Supplemental.
So, Miss Vicki.
Yes, sir.
Do you remember when we were watching those WRL events and some of those grid life events where you used to see the in-car video and it had like the cameras seeing front and back, but it also could see all the telemetry and everything that was going on?
Mm-hmm.
You know, most of the ones that we liked were taken by the Sentinel system. Remember James came on our podcast earlier?
Right.
You know, we have no excuse since he lent us one for trial and demonstration purposes. We should actually probably put that in one of our cars. Maybe two.
I really think we should.
I think we should.
I know.
Because then we'd look like the immature endurance racing team that we are. Oh, wait, I mispronounced that, didn't I? Sorry, my bad. We could
So what does the
have,
Sentinel system do?
we could have 3 cameras with picture-in-picture. We could have, if we ever get the AIM system to work, open invitation to anybody from AIM to come on and give us a little bit of love. We need some help. And then we could have all our telemetry on there. And then we can have it streamed live into the paddock or around the world to our millions of fans. We're apparently very popular in Kenya right now. Don't know why, but that's fine. And it can integrate all the available race statistics from like Race Hero and everything. So we could actually see how we're doing on video. We wouldn't even have to carry around our phone anymore. Live.
I love it.
From the great halls of their house, there are assembled 3 who hope to one day be the world's greatest driving heroes. Created from the cosmic legends of the universe comes our team captain, the Vision, Bill Fisher. Their soon-to-be Wonder Woman, Vicki Fisher. Our Captain Marvel and head flight trainee, Jennifer Skripchuk. And our Batman, the master of tools, gadgets, and all things mechanical, our mild-mannered soon-to-be billionaire, Alan Danvers. Their mission, to fight injustice, share what is right and wrong, to get you out of your house and come out racing with them, and serve all mankind. They are the Garage Heroes in Training Team. Dominating with Dawson.
Dominating Dawson. Where's Ben?
No Ben here.
No Ben here. We've been invaded by Jeff Wakeman.
Hello, everybody. This is Jeff Wakeman from the 3-Pedal Mafia.
That's right.
Used to be on the Everyone Racers podcast. I don't have time anymore. So I'm just going to drop in here and do like 10 minutes and be out. Go back to the rest of my life.
Jeff's a 10-minute man now.
Yeah.
But Jeff had 10 minutes for us, and we said, yes, please. Miss Vicki, you're here too.
I am.
One of your favorites. Miss Vicki may actually talk during this episode. Who knew? Jeff, you mentioned one of the things you wanted to talk about when you looked at our mother file, which is a couple pages.
Hold on a second. Can I just let the listeners in on a little bit behind the curtain?
I've got a few topics we could talk about, Jeff.
Bill says, I'll send you a list of some of the things we want to talk about. I think the document is 211 pages.
I have
Just keep
thoughts.
adding on to it.
I have thoughts. But anyway, on page...
I'm sorry. It's only 159.
It depends on the print.
I'm serious. I just looked at it. I said, Bill, I don't have time to look at this list. Can you narrow it down a little? He says, go to section 2. I don't know where section 2 is. I picked random stuff. One of them was today's question. Go ahead and give it to me, Bill.
That's right. One of Miss Vicki's favorite things to do. One of the things Jeff is excellent at, because I remember when I was first learning, I used to follow Jeff and see what he did. Let's talk endurance racing. Let's talk high car field counts. Car count fields.
Car
whatever.
count fields. Yeah, sure.
Sure, whatever. Let's take those 3 words and put them any way you want. They all work. Let's talk traffic management on the racetrack.
Oh, traffic management, baby. Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, who've never been to a Lemons race, at a random like SCCA race, you might have 20 or 30 cars on the field. At a Lemons race, you might have 120.
Easy.
I would say most of them are around 100, 108, 110.
Northeast is 120 and up.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, our tracks are a little bigger. Depends on, and it's like per mile, per track, and how many you put on.
Yeah.
Either way, what Lemons is going to do, and it keeps it safe, and it keeps it slow, and it keeps it calm, is have a metric buttload of cars on the track at the same time, which means very different than time trials or track days or some of those other sports out there. The way to go the fastest around a track like that is actually traffic management, not perfect laps.
Not qualifying laps, not
No.
nothing near there.
So when Bill, you guys have become track day aficionados,
Mm-hmm.
getting a lot of instruction.
True.
And I can't remember who said it. I think it might have been Rocky Balboa.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face.
That would be Mr. Mike Tyson.
Exactly. That's what I said, didn't I?
Him too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Knowing where the apex is
Mhm.
and knowing how to put your car exactly where it needs to be and knowing the proper racing line and being able to click off that perfect lap. Just like they said in Ford versus Ferrari. Do you see it out there? It's the perfect lap.
Mhm.
None of that matters when you got 125 cars on the track because you are never going to get a perfect lap.
You might not get a perfect corner.
100%. And traffic management is what you have to do to get around the track both safely and in an expedient manner. There is no such thing as my racing line or your racing line or get off my line.
I had the line.
I had the line. Just get all of that out of your head. Bill said he follows me. Following somebody is a completely appropriate way to drive on a track. Following somebody who's slightly faster than you is a great way to learn traffic management and to manage traffic.
Great way to learn.
Yeah, and I don't mean like learn the lines, to
Mm-mm.
learn how to get through the packs.
Mhm.
Miss Vicki is like the number one ambulance chaser you're ever going to see on a racetrack.
Oh, I love ambulance chasing.
Yeah, I was I have one of my favorite track videos ever is from I don't
The
remember
deer?
the team. Well, that one too.
Oh.
There's a team in Jersey who drives a Jeep Cherokee.
Oh, they're
That
so
is-
fast.
Get up. They are so fast. They followed me once and I was in the Mazda 3 hatchback, and they followed me for like 5 or 6 laps. They were on my bumper. They are very fast. And I was dicing the traffic. It was a heavy traffic day. And I'm slicing and dicing and passing and moving. Man, these guys I'm not losing them. They are still on my bumper. So after about 5 or 6 laps on the straight, I was like, you know what? I'm going to let these guys go past me because I think I'm holding them up. They got next to me. They gave me a thumbs up. They hit the brakes and got right behind me again. I later found out, like I went to find them, they're all track instructors at NJMP.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And it was one of their first Lemons races. And they were following me because they were learning traffic management or enjoying my traffic management. I don't know if they were learning anything or not, but when you're in a packed field, knowing the cars around you, knowing who does what, knowing who's fast where, knowing who's going to drive right, knowing who you can go door handle to door handle with and still get through and know that they are going to do exactly what they're going to do every time is really important in traffic management. Managing traffic at a track and a group of people that you've never been around is much more difficult than when you're comfortable with the people around you.
Yep. Miss Vicki, what about you?
How so?
You in traffic management. How do you deal with it?
How do I deal with it? Oh, I have fun with it. I have so much fun I love playing in traffic. I do.
Oh, in a car, right? Not just like running out on
Well,
the
you know
street.
what?
right?
She-
Yeah.
she's got her
When I get
dodgeball.
off
She goes
the
out the
track,
street.
there's that transition I have a hard time with. As soon as I get done racing and trying to make my way home. Yeah, those apexes really do kind of materialize on the highway and on roads. But no, no, I've mentioned this before that I do ambulance chase a lot when I see faster cars come through, always. Um, I learn from them. I learn how that they do manage traffic on their own. I see in the process of ambulance chasing how they take lines. And it's not,
Alternate lines.
well, yeah, but
Hmm.
alternate lines. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like we're taught to race on the line, and by watching skilled racers and following them, you can see how they can manipulate the line to go around traffic. It's really kind of hard to bend your brain to drive offline and go counter to traffic to make those passes. And when you've spent a couple years on learning how to race a line and you see them do the opposite, it kind of bends you a little bit, and it's kind of fascinating to watch. And when you do it correctly, it's amazing.
Mhm.
Hmm.
So I do take a lot of pointers from the much skilled drivers that are coming through, and and just you learn from lead. It's basically a lead follow.
Hmm.
Um, you don't when you're racing on the racetrack, you begin to know the better teams and the better cars that are coming through, and those are the ones you want to focus on more than anybody else. Just don't follow just anybody. When you see those top tier A class racers coming through, um, you quickly identify them, and the people that are in the know, they actually part the traffic for them because they also realize that they can get, they're going to have to pass anyway. So, and those people that are in the know will be smart and jump in behind them. So, and just keep up with them for as long as you can. There's a lot to be learned. There's a lot to be learned on the racetrack for that.
Let
It's not just making laps.
let's talk about for instance,
Mm-hmm.
I got it, for instance.
proverbial track. You're
Yep.
driving along, you're having a good time,
Mm-hmm.
you're in the middle of traffic,
Yep.
you're on the straight.
Yep.
The straight is going to lead to something just past the, start finish. You're probably coming up to something called turn one.
Mm-hmm.
Turn one is probably a tight turn right after a straight, a long straight.
Mm-hmm.
You're in traffic. What
Mm-hmm.
do? You scan everything.
Absolutely.
You know who's behind you. You
Mm-hmm.
know who's in front of you. You know who's trying to pass who. And you're making a determination when you get to turn one, who do you want in front of you and who do you want behind you? Sometimes on that straight where you
And
should be going as fast as possible, you see that car behind you that
Mm-hmm.
is quick. You
Mm-hmm.
say, you know what? I don't want to screw up his race.
Right?
I'd rather be behind him in turn one than in front of him in turn one.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to slow down. I'm going to pull off a little bit and start finish. I'm going to let him get in front of me. I'm going to get on his bumper. And then what is he going to do? He's looking around too. And he's like, okay, see those three cars in front of me? I'm faster than them.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to pass them in turn one. How
Right.
am I going to pass them in turn one? They are going to be doing the line because I know I can trust them. So
Exactly.
going into turn one, they're going to be on, let's say it's a right. Turn one is
Yep.
almost always a
They're
right
going
in
to follow that
America.
apex.
They're going to be on the left side. They're going to clip in. They're going to hit that apex.
Mm-hmm.
What is faster car than you going to do? He's going to do what's called a dive bomb. He's going to drop in there on the inside of the track and he's going to wait too long.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to do what's called a very late apex at a very high rate of speed.
Yep.
So he goes in deep, he stands on those binders.
Mm-hmm.
He's on the inside. He is in the wrong spot for that line. And then what does he do? He takes that apex away from those other people.
Mm-hmm.
So now they can't get to the apex and they have to slow down more.
Mm-hmm.
Even if that car was as fast, he's going to get by them because he put them off their line.
Mm-hmm.
If you're right behind him and you
Mhm.
did what he did, you're going to come out the other side slower than if you would have done the line right. But you just managed traffic by taking that inside line, reversing, just like Vicki said, inside to out instead of out in out.
Right.
inside to out. You're going to float out. You're going to have to not be as fast. But they're behind you.
Right.
You just passed somebody who could potentially be faster than you by managing the traffic.
It all depends on how you hit that apex. And when they start driving out, you're already on the inside.
And then you're already on the inside in a power position.
Right.
Is this a jerk move? Potentially.
Well, it depends. Well, you know what? It also
Good
depends.
traffic management, you get
Right.
it done before you're a problem.
Right.
Bad
But, you know,
traffic
you also-
management is screwing them up. Good traffic management is, oh yeah, I saw him dive bomb, but he was out of the way by the time I got there.
Right. Well, there's also too is that sometimes when that happens, I know that in lemons, I know that in lemons that we don't make a habit of doing of such of those things, especially to new drivers. But say, for instance, they're going up against an upper B class racer or an A class racer, they know that they could handle that type of thing. And they'll take advantage of that. But they won't do that with a C car. They won't sit there and freak out and scare out a C car. At least not most people won't really do that. But
Oh yeah, you got to let those C cars have the line.
oh, absolutely, because they're not skilled. And if you
100%.
screw them up, you risk getting your car taken out.
A C car that is really slow,
Right.
you give them the widest berth possible because you don't want to mess up their race. And that's traffic management,
Right.
is doing what you need to do to make the pass without
Right.
messing other people up.
Right. But if you have two A class racers going against each other, they can certainly handle what that race scenario that you just presented. And even a mid B to an upper B class could definitely handle what that takes
Yeah,
place.
let's call them faster or slower than you are.
Right.
Because you don't know what you're driving.
Right.
And it could be a C versus a C if they're faster or slower. So
Right.
let me give you another for instance. You're in traffic. You got a guy in front of you that you're a little bit faster than. I think there was another prompt in here. How come I can't pass someone who's I'm a little faster than?
Yep.
Because you need to be a lot faster than, or you need to use racecraft, or they need to mess up.
Racecraft.
So let's say you're a guy in front of you. You're a little faster than, but they're good. They're not making errors. You're not making any errors either. You're a little faster, but man, I have a little bit more speed, but not enough to get around them. Let's talk about traffic management. There's probably a car that's faster than you on this track. Man, if it's a big, loud car, even better. Sorry for party racing, Firebird. Great, loud, fast, hard charging, moving quick car.
Right.
Lementarian's big old caddy.
They're rarely faster than me.
Yeah.
Failbird comes up behind me. Sorry for party racing. It's big. It's a Firebird. It's got loud stripes on it. It's got zebra stripes. It's purple. It's green. It's got loud pipes. You know what I do?
What?
I get behind him. You know why I let him by?
Why?
I let him by when we're getting into a twisty section.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to be able to keep up with him in a twisty section, not in a straight.
Right.
You know what he's going to do? He's going to take a super aggressive move, and he is going to get next to that car that I can't pass. When he does that, if I'm on his bumper, I get through. He can't close the door on me.
Right.
You know, I kind of
That's traffic management.
I kind of refer to that as stuffing. But you know that is like they're racing and all of a sudden they're bumping up against slower cars. Well, that's just a maneuver. If you can kind of, I'm not doing it to be a jerk. Okay,
Yes, you
but
are.
it is a version of racecraft, is that if you can get them stuck in slower traffic just by a maneuver, that's a racecraft thing. It really is. If you're kind of stuck or giving them opportunity to hang themselves.
Yep.
That's another option.
Let me do another for instance.
Mm-hmm.
You're in a pack.
Mm-hmm.
You can't get through this pack. There's a lot of cars. There's nowhere to go.
Cars.
There's no daylight anywhere. You're looking far ahead, right? You always look far ahead. We already know how to do that. You're looking so far ahead in traffic. What are you looking for? You're looking for the apex? No, you're not seeing no apex. You're looking for the turd burglar, turdest turd that ever turded on that street.
That's right.
right? You're going to enter a turn, a section of turns, a section of the racetrack, and people are going to line up in row A or row B, sometimes row C. 10 cars ahead. If you see that turd, you're in the other lane.
If you see the Simca.
If you see the Simca, you're in the lane that they're not.
Exactly.
And sometimes you're making the decision, who's going to be worse here? The Simca or the Cordoba? And you're like, you know what? It's twisty. I think the Simca's going to do okay here, and that Cordoba is not. Sometimes you're deciding between the turd and the turdy turd. And you got to be patient. This is traffic management also. Everyone around you is trying to get past that Fiesta.
That's right.
1.6 liters, 79
that
Fiesta.
Opal.
The Opal. The whatever it is. Everybody's trying to get around it. Be patient. Get in line. Let those 3 people go. Get behind them. But know that as soon as you're past that, are you in the right gear? Are you in the right spot? Are you going to be able to get by them again? Because that Daytona and that Chrysler minivan that is also trying to get around that Cordoba, you're going to be able to pass.
Right.
So there is no reason for you to pass them until you get past that Cordoba. That's traffic management.
Right.
I'm going to let them get through because they're going to make sure that Simca stays on that inside line. We're going to be on that outside line, and the Chrysler minivan's going to go through, and then the Dodge Aspen is going to go through, and then I'm going to go through. And as soon as I go through, bam, I'm next to that Dodge Aspen because I know I can out accelerate them.
You know
that's
what's
traffic management.
And you know what? I think that's why I enjoy.
Vicki and I are having a conversation. Bill is not involved. He's put that microphone to his lips like 4 times. Vicki's just like, nope, not gonna let him talk.
Sorry, I actually had a little screen up so I couldn't see his face. But no, I think that's why I really enjoy the traffic management, because it requires you to wake up and just think when you're on the track, versus sometimes when you don't have a lot of cars on, you're just focusing on your lines and you're focusing on your time. And this actually engages your brain instead. Because when you're racing, you're just focusing on line, you're just focusing on time. Sometimes in an endurance race, and you don't have that many cars on the track, you do risk falling into a lull.
Lull of 100%.
Right.
We went to the very first AER race. Oh,
right. And if you're not paying attention, you realize you're not going as fast as you need to. You start making mistakes because now your focus is drifting off to somewhere else. You're just driving. And that's why I think the traffic just engages your brain and wakes you up and keeps you very much in the moment.
Yeah. It's a different sport. It's a different part of the sport, same sport. If you're trying to make perfect laps, you're doing things like, can I brake a little closer? Can I go a little deeper? Can I clip that a little?
You're focusing on your time. Can I gain a little bit more, a few more seconds here? Can I?
You're focusing where every wheel is and how much pressure on every brake. While in traffic management, you're kind of like playing the 3D chess.
Right.
All right. I'm a Star Wars fan. So if you don't know this or not, there's a thing where the Jedi actually make a space battle better for their side because they're seeing the entire space battle and they're kind of like playing chess and pushing people to where they need to be. So that's what you're doing. You're 5 and 6 moves ahead. 3 turns from now, I'm going to be next to the Simca. Or I'm going to be behind the Simca.
Right.
Bill, go ahead. I feel like we're like totally shut down.
We just got finally engaged.
Good morning. How are you?
Is this your podcast? I can't even tell anymore.
It's fine. Vicki doesn't talk and then she don't stop when she starts, but it's fine.
I got excited about a topic.
So there's 2 things that I wanted to get to. One is the difference in traffic management if you're in an A car versus a B car versus a C car. Because I think B car is the hardest one. And A and C are less difficult, but different. They're all 3 different.
I don't know. I've never raced an A car.
Yes, you have.
I wouldn't say A, B, and C. The difference is in whether you have speed on the people around you are just as fast, or whether you are slow.
Yes.
Because you can be in an A car that does not have the power to dominate.
Sure.
The Cressida, the three-pedal Mafia Cressida, is not an extremely powerful car.
Right.
It wins by being incredibly consistent and clicking off lap after lap after lap after lap. It does not have the power to dominate and push and squirt through.
Like Black Betty.
Like Black Betty. Black Betty has the power to leave somebody in the dust, and when it sees the hole, squirt right in. Mm-hmm. And that is you're doing traffic management in a fast car when you're faster than your opponents. It is about finding the hole and going for the hole as soon as the hole is available.
Right.
It is you must pass now kind of a situation.
Mm-hmm.
When you're in I don't want to say B car, when most of the cars are just as fast as you, or you're a little faster, but you're not dominating faster.
You're kind of in the middle.
Kind of in the middle. Now you're working the flow. Now you're saying, I need to be on the line more than I need to get around that guy.
But I have to be watching both sides.
You have to be watching the sides, but you'll want to be traffic managing so you're where you need to be, so you don't have to push the brakes early.
Mm-hmm.
Or you don't have to alter your line as much. So a lot of times when we were racing the Civic and winning with the Civic before it was as overbearing and K-swapped and all that stuff, when it was, the slower B car, not that it was slow, it was just, not a over-dominant force. A lot of the traffic management was let that guy pass me so I can be on the line uninterrupted.
Mm-hmm.
I know I need to go outside to the apex and to the furthest outside for me to carry the most speed through this turn. So I will manage to make sure the turds are behind me and the fast cars are in front of me, and that apex will be open when I get there.
Mm-hmm.
That's traffic management.
Right. And you want an example of what not to do with traffic management? Imagine this. You're at your first ever race. You've got this great team that's decided to be an ambassador for you and invited you to come over and see them. And you meet all them and you go out for your first day of racing at NJMP ever. It's great. And you're in your 1974 Capri.
Yeah, that's not a good choice.
No, but it was fine. We did great.
Nothing wrong with 74 Capri.
No. So then you see one of your new friends go by and you're like, hey, I can follow them and I will learn exactly how to race and I will gain so much. So then you take off out of turn 1 behind them. You go through the chicane. You get to turn 3.
This was NJMP, by the way, right?
NJMP, yes. And you get to turn 3, which is another right-hander. And all of a sudden, they're gone.
Gone.
And your car is slightly out of control and then crosses the track and goes into the tire wall. And then, you get the escort.
You hit a tire wall in the Capri? I didn't remember that.
Yes. And then you get towed.
It was the first race at
NJMP?
NJMP, yeah.
And then you come in and you're talking to your friends and, you're fixing the car and everything's fine. And then you find out that wasn't just the three-pedal Mafia car where your friends were driving. No. That was the car that you knew as named Black Betty, which you knew what Black Betty was, but you did not know that was Black Betty. So if you're trying to keep up with the wrong car, you may get yourself a little over your skis or a little to the point where you run out of talent. And bad things can happen. So knowing which car you're traffic managing is
absolutely. If you don't turn as hard, you're not going to be able to turn. You need to give yourself more space in that turn. If you don't fly down the straight as hard, you're going to lose them in that traffic.
Yes, and my 14-inch rims and my My 205 tires were not quite up to the standard, nor was my 2.8 liter
Yeah,
car.
Is that the what motor was that? The 2.8 liter V6?
Windsor, I think.
No, not Windsor.
Cleveland,
Kent?
something. It was ugly.
Yeah.
Made of glass. But anyway, so knowing the cars, Cologne, that's it.
Cologne, 2.8 Cologne. Yeah, there you go. What a terrible motor that is.
Yeah. The only thing that made it better was the transmission was made of glass, so it was fine.
Yeah, it's great.
So,
where is that car?
Alan's putting it back on track as we speak.
Good for him.
Don't know when, but it'll be fun. It doesn't have that engine anymore.
Should we review traffic management?
We should. Traffic management.
All right. Here's traffic management in a nutshell. You need to know who you're driving and who's around you. You need to know what their speed is and what they do. Do they turn well? Do they make loud noises? Do they drive fast?
Mm-hmm.
You can follow a faster car through traffic. When you are dicing and slicing the traffic, you need to make sure that you are not getting in other people's way. You need to make sure that you are letting them drive their race, or you're the jerk off. Traffic management is not pushing people around. It is not being the jerk. If you're in a fast car, it is squirt in the hole that you see. If you're in a equal car, it is about making sure that you are getting the apex that you need to drive your race. It is chess. You are counting 3 and 4 car turns ahead of you. You are looking further and further out into the distance. You're not looking at the apex cones. You're looking where that turd burglar is. And you are making sure that you are not behind the turd burglar at the time where you need to be passing.
And you need to know where every car that's near you is.
Every car. And what they do and how they react.
And if you lose one, like if you forget there's one there, that can be the end of the weekend for both of you.
Yep.
So be careful, be conservative, but have fun.
Yeah. Wow. Did I answer the question? I don't know if I did or not. I talked about it. I hope that gets people excited for traffic. There's a lot of people who do not do our sport, who are SCCA racers, who say, "Oh, there's too many cars on the track. It's not fun." Nope.
You can't get a good lap.
Not your kind of fun. It's a whole different kind of fun.
Yep.
You know how many cars you can pass on an endurance weekend?
Oh, hundreds.
Easily. More than most racers will pass on an entire season.
Correct. And you don't even need to be in a faster car. You just need to be able to traffic manage better.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for having me. This was fun.
That was a fun one.
Good.
Miss Vicki even talked.
I don't know why all of a sudden I'm speaking at a higher register. Ooh. I'm so excited.
You close that drawer on. Oh, that's a different story.
No, I did not.